So what happens when a public figure uses someone's immigration status as a threat? Not in a courtroom, not even behind closed doors, but on national television. Because Katie Miller, the former Trump White House aide and now the spouse of a current senior White House official, was on a panel with Cenk Uygur. I'm not certain that I'm pronouncing that name correctly, so I'm sorry. But you probably know him as the founder of the Young Turks. He's a naturalized U.S. citizen born in Turkey, and he's outspoken and political and not known to be quiet. Anyway, they were debating Israel and anti-Semitism and the call by a Republican lawmaker to deport a New York City politician. And then suddenly, in the middle of it, Miller turned to Uygur and said, "You better check your citizenship application and make sure everything is correct." I'm paraphrasing there, but it was something close to that, I believe. Talk about policy turning personal, if you can call that a policy at all. And if it is policy, I think we know what we would call it, because it landed like a threat. And maybe she didn't say the word deport, I don't recall exactly, but the implication was loud enough. And here's what I heard. Say the wrong thing. Go ahead, say it. And maybe someone in power decides to dig through your paperwork. Boy, am I excited for tax season this year. And if that is fair game now, if citizenship can be used like that, especially in public, then we've crossed into something much more dangerous. Because if your legal status becomes someone else's leverage, speech isn't truly free. It's very conditional. And we've seen this tactic before. In 1798, as the ink was barely dry on the Constitution, during the Adams administration, Congress passed the Alien and Sedition Acts, giving the president the power to expel immigrants and criminalize dissent. James Madison warned that the friendless alien had become the safest subject of a first experiment, because it is always easiest to start with someone seen as different, as an outsider, and therefore easily silenced. But over time, the Constitution built guardrails. Due process protects every person, not just citizens. Or it's supposed to anyway. And equal protection applies regardless of where you were born. And courts have said clearly, if the government wants to imprison or expel someone, it must prove it and it must do so fairly. Still, none of that matters if we let public figures treat citizenship like a private club, or even worse, like a way to win an argument or shut someone else up. These free speech absolutists, baby. This wasn't just a viral moment. It was a glimpse into how status can still be, or maybe is very much intended to be, weaponized. Not through policy, but through posture. And that's where the real risk is. So what do you do when your status becomes someone else's leverage? And what happens to the rest of us if we just let them pull this lever time and time again?